Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are just getting started here. This is our little behind the scenes before the show starts segment, but I want to thank everyone out there for, of course, tuning into Computer America, and we hope that you
One
enjoy.
minute until showtime.
There we go. Hope that you enjoyed today's show. And today's show is going to primarily consist of computer and technology news. And it's going to be everything from the role of Alexa and the way that Amazon, of course, wants to take the digital assistant. And spoiler alert, they want to take it everywhere. And not only that, but they want to, and we're also going to talk about the reason why the new MacBook Pro failed so horrendously during the latest Consumer Reports review. And of course, many, many other stories on other gadgets, technologies, services, policies, what have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we hope it is informative. So sit back and relax as we start here with Computer America in a matter of seconds. And also, don't forget to check out computeramerica.com, where you will find, of course, show notes and as well contest.
Your
Contest
show
that you
will
can
go
enter
live
here.
in
So here
5
we go with
seconds.
Computer America.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Grossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome into another edition of our radio program here. And actually, now that I think about it, we are less than a month away from our 26th year on the air. Wow, and things have changed over 26 years. But we're gonna do something special for it. But of course, in the meantime, we have another show here, and it's gonna be a lot of fun as we do primarily computer and technology news. And we are going to do news in the vein of course, Apple has disclosed why their new MacBook Pro failed, and they say that it is a bug, and we're gonna find out what bug that was and why it failed. Because again, that was the headlines a couple of weeks ago, was that this was the first time ever Consumer Reports had not advocated purchasing a MacBook Pro. And also, we're going to do things about, I believe Microsoft has new privacy policies for Windows 10, so that only affects, I want to say, about 600 million of you. So I know that's a very, very narrow and niche market, but yeah, we're going to talk about that and the changes to the Windows 10 policy. And of course, other things like standout televisions from CES and Alexa and her role in the future. And spoiler alert, that role is going to be everywhere. So, of course, you can check everything that we do here at Computer America out at ComputerAmerica.com. At our website, you will be able to find the show notes and, of course, links to any and everything that we talk about here on the program, as well as archives of the show. So if you have to stop listening halfway through, or if you get interrupted, or you miss something, very easy to go on over to ComputerAmerica.com, find today's show notes, and right there you will be gifted with all of the archives that you need to catch up on what we do here at Computer America. And of course, you can find us through all of our networks, and of course in iTunes, Stitcher, of course, Blog Talk Radio, YouTube. You can find us all over the place, and we try to make that as convenient as possible. Now, also, while you're there, be sure to check out our social media winner of the week, where every single week we give away a prize to a social media follower of Computer America. If you are so kind as to go out and support Computer America on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Google Plus, on any of those social media sites that we have links to at our homepage, then you are entered to win a keys to go keyboard from Logitech. That's a $70 value, and we give one of those away every single Friday. And we love doing that for you. Now, before we get to the show proper, I have a word from one of our sponsors, and this is one of our new ones, VTech. Now, VTech, they have a new 4-line small business phone system, and it is the perfect solution for small business owners that need to install a phone system that has qualities and features that have previously only been available to companies with larger budgets. But now, the new 4-line phone system is one of the easiest and most affordable on the market, saying that the 4-line small business phone system components include the main console and the option of expandable cordless desk sets, cordless accessory handsets, cordless headsets, and speakerphones, which allow the system to grow alongside a business. And can have up to 10 extensions. That's probably gonna do you right for a lot of businesses out there. So expanding the system is a complete breeze, saying that if you need an extra desk set, not a problem. With the touch of a button and minimal IT experience, any small business owner can set one of these up with 9 expandable components that we just talked about. Now, of course, because they register wirelessly, the expandable components can be located anywhere. This gives you the freedom and flexibility to set up your office however you so choose, and you don't have to plan around all those different phone lines and Ethernet drops. You can go where you need to. Also, with the ease of use and the simple installation, the 4-line small business phone system also comes equipped with a number of advanced features, which include auto attendant on each line, a digital answering machine with mailboxes for every extension, a full duplex speakerphones. And by the way, the full duplex, that means that when you talk, it doesn't kind of mute them. That's a feature that some phone companies out there, they don't have because it saves on bandwidth, and it's just kind of easier to not have it. But again, VTech really brought out all the bells and whistles and made sure that it had that feature. Not only that, but power failure operation and 6-party conferencing. So you can have 6 people in a party. Sounds like a lot of fun. But VTech wants to help your small business grow this year. So for the entire month of January, receive 20% off any small business phone bundle when you purchase online using this promo code. And the promo code is NTK65EEK. A little convoluted, so I'm going to repeat it. NTK65EEK. Now, that code, again, will give you 20% off any small business phone bundle. The VTech 4-line small business phone system components are available in stores and online at Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, and of course at vtechphones.com. Give it a check out. And again, we hope it's just what you're looking for, because we think we really appreciate having them on as sponsors, and we think the product is just bang up. So again, give it a look if it's something that you've been looking into. Now, with that being said, why don't we jump into computer and technology news? And this is, again, all about latest breaking news and all about stories that are relevant to you and everything that happened within the past day or two. We try to keep them, we try to keep it flowing, and we try to keep everything that we talk about, nothing stale, everything new. And again, we hope you enjoyed today's show. So, without further ado, computer and technology news brought to you by Computer America. So, I think for our first story, we are going to go with, okay, how about this one? We're going to start off with the Windows 10 Creators Update. And this is important because this has different privacy settings than what we're used to, and we found that, again, Windows 10, for all of the accolades that we heap upon Windows 10 as an operating system, there are some faults, and most of them have to do with privacy settings. So, why don't we get started with this one? And this one is from Ars Technica. And by the way, be sure to, of course, check out the video portion of the show, because you can read along with the article as we do. Now, this is, again, Ars Technica and Mr. Peter Bright saying that the Windows 10 Creator Update is set to rejig privacy settings in a move that is unlikely to please anyone, saying that new controls are arguably an improvement, but data collection remains mandatory for most. Mm. And that's what we hated. We hated the data collection, and if you're not careful or you don't set the right checkboxes, you are sending everything that you do on your computer to Windows so that they can, collect it and of course parse through it and better serve you, native advertising. It is, it's just a symptom of modern technology, but you don't have to, of course, agree with it. You can always disable it. It's just, again, as an opt out policy, there's probably about 90% of the people out there will not be opting out. So don't be one of them, be one of the few. So, saying that the Windows 10 Creator Update is going to introduce new settings and controls for Windows 10 privacy. These changes have two parts, and available immediately is a web-based privacy dashboard, and that gives access to and the ability to delete information collected by Cortana, browsing history, search terms, location history, interests, contacts, and more. So again, it gives you a privacy dashboard that will give you access and the ability to delete essentially everything that they're collecting about you. So it's going to make it a little bit more obvious just what it is that they have on you, I guess. So, coming later this year, though, the Windows 10 Creator Update is a reworking of the operating system level privacy controls. With the main thing that these will do is to make the choice more explicit. Instead of being able to pick express settings, which set a bunch of privacy-related options but does not enumerate them in full description, the Windows 10 out-of-the-box experience will show a bunch of privacy-related options. So, to complete the process, a particular settings must be chosen explicitly, and the settings page will be more descriptive about what each setting controls and the features that will be disabled when given the option is disabled. Now, again, they have a picture here of exactly what they're talking about, and they broke it down into location, speech recognition, diagnostics, tailored experience with diagnostic data, and relevant ads. Essentially, each one of those is a privacy nightmare. The location will, of course, send Microsoft your location, and if you're in a certain location, let's say they have a deal with partners in the area, they will send you location-based coupons or location-based advertising, or just generally use your location data as data points into browsing habits of people. Speech recognition, that's something that popped up a little while ago with, I want to say, Samsung televisions, where they were getting in trouble for recording people's voices, even when they weren't expecting it. And it's along the same lines. And of course, no one at Microsoft is using the computers to spy or even get into anyone's house through their computers. But at the same time, the speech recognition needs the data from all 600 million users of Windows 10, or however many millions there are. And every time you talk to Cortana or use Cortana or search with Cortana, anytime you do anything with Cortana, all that data is gathered and parsed and of course used to make Cortana better. It's the way that artificial intelligence is kind of trained. That's the way that Siri works. That is the way that Alexa works. That is the way that Google works. That is the way that every single artificial intelligence works. But again, they're making it explicit exactly what Microsoft is collecting about you. So diagnostics, that's of course gathers just about everything about what you do, your system settings, what kind of system you have, what computer parts you use, and of course any settings that you have on any applications relevant to Windows 10. They also have tailored experience with diagnostic data. So they're saying that that they can recommend you Microsoft products. So if they think that you could use a better webcam, or if they think that you can use better software, they again will use that data that they have on you to better target advertise to you. And then of course relevant ads is taking generally all the information, rolling it into their big computer, and then of course giving you very, very targeted advertising. Again, none of these are illegal, none of these are surreptitious. It's just if you don't turn them off, then you are disclosing data that I think a lot of people would be uncomfortable with. But at the same time, it's not exactly information you're not sharing with the likes of Google or Apple or any other online service out there that you're using. This is pretty, par for the course. It's just we here at Computer America, we enjoy letting people know and, of course, telling people that they have the option to turn it off. It's not necessary. And again, being an opt out, they know that they're going to get plenty of data. You turning it off is not going to ruin Microsoft as a company, so we recommend it. But they're saying that in tandem with this, and of course continuing on with this article from Ars Technica, they're saying that the Windows 10 telemetry and diagnostic data collection is changing. Currently, it has 3 settings: basic, full, and enhanced, and the settings are being reduced to 2 options: basic and full. Saying that Microsoft says that it is further reducing the amount of data collected by the basic setting. However, the company still isn't explicitly clear about what data is collected, only that it includes information about device capabilities, error reports, and what's installed. Still missing, however, is the ability for most Windows users to disable telemetry entirely, meaning that the central criticism of Windows 10 approach to privacy, that there's no way to disable data collection entirely, remains. And currently, only Windows 10 Enterprise users can fully disable telemetry, and it's likely that this will continue to be the case. So while the move to requiring positive consent is certainly a big step forward, the fact that you cannot turn off telemetry is still a privacy nightmare. And again, this was by Peter Bright of Ars Technica, and I think it did a really good job of the blog post that Microsoft put out today outlining its new privacy policy. And again, it seems like they didn't really back off all that much. It seems like they are refining what kind of data that they actually need, and now that they don't have to cast as wide of a net, they are making it more clear. And of course, which is always good, but at the same time, it's now more than ever just more clear that they collect a lot of data that a lot of people would not be comfortable with. So, again, give it a check out. And if you see a Windows update, this is it. It's called the Windows 10 Creator Update. So, with that being said, why don't we move from Microsoft and how they are surreptitiously spying on your data, and why don't we move over to Alexa and how Alexa is surreptitiously spying on everything you do. But, of course, like many things out there, there's a reason for it. And like I mentioned earlier, the main reason that they do these kinds of things isn't to spy on you. No one cares what you're talking about. No one cares what you do in the privacy of your own home. No one really cares about one individual unless you're like, a celebrity or some kind of policymaker. No one really cares what the average person does in their home. But in the masses, by the millions, the data of what everyone does is very, very powerful and, of course, can be used to make better products. And that is what we see with Alexa. Now, this came out yesterday, and this is by Miss Mona Lalwani. And this is from Engadget, saying that Alexa will make your car smarter and vice versa. Again, it's just showing that Alexa is going to be everywhere as designed by Amazon. So every year at CES, some of the world's biggest tech companies try to one-up each other. TVs getting thinner and brighter, or home appliances getting chattier and robots getting friendlier. But this year, instead of standing out for their memorable devices, a lot of companies showed up with a shared identity. And that is, of course, the voice of Alexa. Within a span of just 2 years, Amazon's cloud-based voice service has spread far beyond the Echo speaker with which it first debuted, saying that Alexa has gone from being an at-home helper to a personal assistant that can unlock your car and even order groceries for your fridge. No kidding. Alexa seems to be just about everywhere nowadays. But at CES, both Ford and Volkswagen announced that their cars would integrate Alexa for weather updates, navigation, and more. According to CJ Frost, principal architect solution and automotive lead at Amazon, that's right, the online retailer has an automotive lead. Crazy. The car industry is moving into a mobility space, saying that the idea isn't restricted to the ride anymore. It encompasses a journey that starts before you even get into the car. And with the right skills built into the voice service, you can start a conversation with Alexa about the state of your car, asking it questions such as, is the car locked, is there enough fuel, etc., before you even leave the house. And it can also pull up your calendar, check traffic updates, and confirm the meeting to make sure you're on track for the day. So, yeah, and why don't we? And of course, we're not going to do this entire article because it seems a little bit long, but we're going to get into again, of course, the idea that Amazon Alexa is going to. And by the way, I apologize for keep saying the A word, but yeah, hopefully that didn't start up anyone's devices. But at the same time, they're saying that with the far field technology that we have in the echo correlation, there can become complex background noise and oh, my bad. But using a voice service in the car keeps your connection with the intelligent assistant intact. And it's also a mode of communication that will be essential to autonomous cars in the future. And the interviewer caught up with a couple of general manager of the automotive Alexa service at the convention and asked a series of questions. And by the way, you should definitely go check out this interview. Very, very interesting. But of course, they're saying that the gist of it is that the car of the future and Alexa, your car is going to be essentially a mobile living room or a mobile office, and Alexa is going to be the interface in which you do work, you entertain yourself, you do anything in your car because, a car traditionally does not have a good setup for keyboard and mouse. Or, people don't want to be staring at their phones while they're zipping along the road. But voice assistant, hands-free voice assistant, if you can handle everything you can through a digital assistant, then that makes the mobile office idea of a car really stand out that much more. And again, this is where many automakers are seeing the space kind of develop, as well as, of course, autonomous vehicles, which are fast approaching. So, with that said, again, you can check that out over at Engadget. Now, with that being said, why don't we talk about okay, how about this one? This one happened yesterday, and the true implications of it are still are still trickling out. But you gotta love it whenever an article calls for the destruction of an entire service. Very, very blanket statement. So let's get into this. And of course, this is from a publication called Network World, and why you shouldn't trust Geek Squad ever again, saying that the government reportedly pays Geek Squad technicians to dig through your PC. And again, a little sensationalist. We'll get into why, but at the same time, Geek Squad. I mean, yeah, they're a service out there. I've used them once or twice for a couple things that I couldn't handle way back when, and honestly, head on over to Computer America, submit a question. We'll help you the best we can, or head on over to techguy.org. Geek Squad is just for those who don't have the time or the knowledge. And, again, give it a little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge. you can solve about 99% of what's wrong with your computer. Now, with that being said, why don't we get into this? And this is by Andy Patrizza, saying that Best Buy has quite a support service in Geek Squad. It's the only national tech service center, and it makes house calls. And the author says, I had a tech come to calibrate my HD TV set, and the difference was night and day. Saying that in 2014, Geek Squad brought in $2 billion, which was a drop from the previous year, but still accounted for 5% of Best Buy's revenue. So, of course, it's not insignificant. And it seems that the geeks are making a few extra bucks, as they claim, where the Orange County Weekly reports that the company's repair techs routinely search devices brought in for repair for files that could earn them a $500 reward as FBI informants. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, as the author states, is as blatant a case of unconstitutional search and seizure as it gets. Saying that the revelation came out in the court case where it's the United States of America versus Mark A. Rattenmeyer, saying that Rattenmeyer was a prominent Orange County physician and a surgeon who took his laptop to the Mission Viejo Best Buy in November 2011 after he was unable to start it. So, according to the records, Geek Squad technician found an image of a very inappropriate picture. Of a very inappropriate, very underage person on the computer, and the person notified his boss, who was also an FBI informant, who alerted another FBI informant, as well as the FBI himself. So, of course, it seems like they found, child pornography on this person's computer. And, of course, they reported it all the way to the FBI, and again, the court case was brought about. Now, the FBI has pretty much guaranteed that the case will be thrown out by its behavior, saying that this illegal search aside, according to Rattenmeyer's defense attorney, agents conducted 2 additional searches of the computer without obtaining necessary warrants, lied to trick a federal magistrate judge into authorizing a search warrant for his home, then tried to cover up their misdeeds by initially hiding records. It sounds like they, again, went way above and beyond proper procedure, and they're saying that the file was found in the unallocated trash space, meaning that they could only retrieve it by carving. And, carving, that is, of course, going into the hard drive where you can delete something, but that doesn't mean it's actually deleted, and you can get software that will go in and essentially undelete or carve a file from the hard drive. That's essentially what they did. It's not the most complicated thing to do, but it is a little bit above and beyond, just kind of stumbling upon a picture sitting there on the desktop. They were really, really, really searching this computer. So, of course, but of course the real question is, why in the world was a Geek Squad staff running Carver on the laptop, or carving software on the laptop, and saying that his job was to get things running, and and of course the author doubts recovering deleted files would make much of a difference, and of course the answer could be the $500 that you get for, of course, informing the FBI in such cases. Now, until Best Buy ends this practice of an FBI informant, a blatantly unconstitutional act, the author recommends that you avoid Geek Squad completely, and saying that you should ask your kid or your grandkid or your neighbor's kid if you have a problematic laptop, but stay out of Geek Squad. Now, of course, this article is not about defending, the particular court case. It's not about defending anything of the like, but it is advocating that Geek Squad members do get some kind of monetary compensation for reporting, illegal material or illegal content on your computer. And of course, it's not even that they report illegal content, but they're also using sophisticated hardware. I'm sorry, sophisticated software. Again, in this case, the carving software to recover files that you thought you may have deleted. So, let's say it's private documents. Let's say it's your will or your social security number or anything that you think you have properly disposed of. Well, this time they caught, someone who's doing something illegal. At the same time, there are situations where people just want files that are, personally sensitive to them. And of course, if Geek Squad can find them, then Geek Squad can, of course, keep them for their own records. It's This has happened with many other agencies. We've seen this from the NSA and heck, even the FBI itself, where given little to no oversight and given access to the data, they will go out and use these search tools for personal ends. Happens every time, and again, I'm not surprised to hear it happen once again in the wrong direction. So, that again was from a publication called Network World, and we are going to move along to our next article. And I think we're going to finally cover the entire issue with Apple and why it failed to meet Consumer Reports standards. So we'll be right back with more Computer America just after this.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Anybody remember why there's a string around my finger? Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time we got in the eHang Ghost Drone 2.0 kit with their VR goggles. This drone is a precision instrument with a gimbal-mounted spherical 4K camera and an impressive amount of control. It seems excellent at keeping its place even up just under 200 feet with a solid breeze. The goggles let you see either what the drone sees or what it sees through its own front camera, so you get a heads-up display of status. We wanted a drone that could do built-in progress videos of our house project, then do gutter patrols or after-storm property line patrols, and those things are no great challenge for this quadcopter. Bottom line, the eHang Ghost Drone 2.0 with VR and a 4K camera, it's an ultra-high-def eye in the sky that even we can fly. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 32 minutes past the hour as we continue on here. And we are doing computer and technology news, of course, brought to you by Computer America. Now, with that being said, why don't we jump into the big story of the afternoon? We jump into a story of the afternoon where this is Apple says that a bug caused Consumer Reports MacBook Pro battery life issues. And I would say so indeed, because, hey, they wouldn't want to fail on purpose. So, here we go. This is from The Verge and Mr. Chaim Gartenberg saying that Apple announced today that that after working with Consumer Reports, the company has identified a bug in Safari that caused the Consumer Reports to have inconsistent battery life when testing the new MacBook Pros. And the news comes after, of course, they made waves around the internet several weeks ago about how it did not recommend the new laptop after experiencing wildly variable battery life on the updated models, making them the first MacBook to not receive the recommendation. So, Apple is still standing by its advertised battery claims and said that the low battery results were due to a software bug in Safari's developer mode that specifically affected Consumer Reports test methodology. And the test apparently uses a hidden Safari setting for developing websites, which turns off the browser cache, and which Apple claims most consumers would never use. And of course, according to Apple, many would never run into the battery life affecting bug. And additionally, Apple said that once it had identified the issue, we asked Consumer Reports to run the same test using normal user settings, and they told us their MacBook Pro system consistently delivered the expected battery life. And Apple is also issuing a software update to Safari to fix the problem. Well, there you go. Meanwhile, Consumer Reports says that it will be rerunning its battery life test with the software update in place and update its recommendation upon completion. So there's still a chance. There's still a chance that it could meet the recommendation. However, even if Apple's update does solve the Consumer Reports battery life issue, there are still unanswered questions regarding battery life in the new MacBook Pros, saying that despite Apple's claims that its own data hasn't shown any problems, numerous user and reviews have experienced variable battery life on the new laptops that the developer mode cache issue doesn't seem to explain. Now, of course, this is something that we covered when the whole battery life thing kind of came out. And the battery life for Consumer Reports, I mean, I really don't fault them for not recommending the laptop, because when they first tested it without the bug fix, they were getting battery lives of 18 hours down to 11 hours and then down to 3 hours. I mean, it was all over the roadmap. And it's hard to recommend something that could either have a lifespan between 3 and 18 hours. But at the same time, there was also reports behind the scenes at Apple concerning the MacBook Pro, and this is why things like the iMac and other of the computer lineups didn't get much of a refresh or any love from Apple, is that Apple actually had to pool engineers from the other departments to help work on the MacBook Pro system, and of course help on the MacBook Pro battery. The battery has been the biggest headache for Apple in a long, long time, because they were supposed to develop this tiered battery solution that I don't think they have really that I really don't think that they have under control yet. So with that being said, I mean, the bug is definitely going to help, and it may actually meet the Consumer Reports list and criteria to be recommended. But at the same time, this does just goes to show that despite all the polish Apple, I think, brings to a lot of their other lineups, their all-in-ones, their laptops, their desktop computers, all of those are certainly being left without a lot of the polish that their other brands seem to enjoy. And again, it's we've talked about this before. Apple was built on the backbone of personal computers, and to see them kind of dwindle away while they, of course, refocus energy on their mobile devices and things like that, it's it kind of makes you want to grab someone by the by the lapels and go, hey, come on, this was your baby, don't let it go out like this. And again, I hope this is the wake up call, because seeing as how they've let their quality in their desktops dwindle, and love Apple or hate Apple, you can't deny that they certainly had a level of quality. They are certainly not living up to it with their latest set of lineups. So again, hopefully they get that all figured out. Now, with that being said, why don't we move on to our next story, which I think we're going to do this one. And this one is, I really like it because it shows how people are getting hacked. It shows how people are losing their private information without, without actually knowing it. And it's so simple, but I think it's such a cool idea that's, now that it's in the open, we can of course check for it, and there can be updates to browsers to kind of prevent it. But at the same time, until then, it's just such a cool, simple way to do it. Now, I think everyone out there has at some point used the autofill feature, and this is built into a lot of browsers. This is built into a lot of services. There are services out there such as LastPass or or Sticky Pass. There are services out there that hey, this is all they do. Now, with that being said, this is from The Guardian, and that little trick of autofill, autocomplete, form fill, whatever you may like about it, is being used to steal your information without you knowing it by the use of hidden text boxes. So, this is again from The Guardian and Mr. Samuel Gibbs saying that the browser autofill used to steal personal details in new phishing attack. This affects Chrome, Safari, Opera, and extensions such as LastPass can be tricked into leaking private information using hidden text boxes. So bad, but at the same time, so cool. I won't lie, it's pretty cool. So, your browser or password manager autofill might be inadvertently giving away your information to unscrupulous phishers using hidden text boxes on sites, saying that a Finnish web developer and hacker discovered that several web browsers, including Google's Chrome, Safari, and Opera, as well as some plugins, can be tricked into giving away a user's personal information through their profile-based autofill systems, saying that the phishing attack is brutally simple, and he discovered that when a user attempts to fill in information in some simple text boxes, such as name and email address, the autofill system, which is intended to avoid tedious repetition of standard information, will input other profile-based information into any other text boxes, even when the text boxes are not visible on the page. And, that's one of the coolest things about it is that you can start filling out your information. And let's say, you just put in your name and then, of course, it autofills your email. There can be hidden text boxes that you don't even see that can put in your address, that can put in your email, that could, ask for a password that maybe you filled into another site. And it can ask for any and all information that is stored in your password saving extensions. So, and the article continues saying that this means that when a user inputs seemingly innocent basic information into a site, the autofill system can be giving away much more sensitive information. And Chrome's autofill system, which is switched on by default, stores data on email addresses, phone numbers, mailing addresses, organizations, credit card information, and various other bits and pieces. And again, all of this is subject to, of course, being stolen. So, they're saying that Mozilla Firefox, though, hey, one up for Firefox, is immune to the problem, as it does not yet have a multi-box autofill system and cannot be tricked into filling text boxes by programming means. And a more complete autofill system is currently in development for Firefox, however. So by Firefox being a step behind in the auto form fill development system, they have inadvertently protected themselves from such a phishing scam. And of course, the phishing attack still relies on users being tricked into entering at least some information into an online form, but unsuspecting users could be tricked into entering more than they bargained for relatively ease. And of course, you can protect from this kind of phishing attack by disabling auto form fill, or of course, trusting the sites that you enter your private information on. Now, you can always be sure that you have given permission to that website. And in the top left, in most browsers nowadays, you see an HTTP or an HTTPS. Never enter private information into a non HTTPS website because, again, it means they're not secure, and it's much more likely that they are going to be hacked than something that is secure. So, with that being said, wow, and again, that just tickles me pink that those kinds of hacks are possible, is because they're so simple that, hey, autofill the data, but have hidden forms or hidden text fields that collect every single piece of the information, and hey, have it emailed to you, have it stored on a server somewhere, but just take them. They think they're entering their name, but really they're entering everything that your computer knows about you. Very, very cool, and again, something to watch out for. Be sure in who you are giving your information to. Now, with that being said, we talk a lot about Elon Musk here on the show. He is quite the developer and, very, very savvy when it comes to social media. And it's crazy how someone who runs a multi-billion-dollar company, seems to be making the headlines every other week, and yet he still finds time to, you know, interact and be social with his users. I mean, it really does show a level of commitment to, to just what it is that he's doing. So this is, by the way, from a website called Inc.com, and Mr. Justin Bariso saying that for business leaders, social media can be confusing, can be a confusing territory. But last month, Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk provided a masterclass in how to use social media effectively, saying that when a Tesla owner complained about fellow consumers hogging spots at a local charging station, Musk took the feedback seriously. And he was saying that he tweeted at Elon Musk to tell him that a particular supercharger is always full of idiots who leave their Teslas for hours even if they're already charged. And Elon Musk, within minutes, said that you're right, this is becoming an issue. Supercharger spots are meant for charging, not parking. We'll take action. And again, he got back to him in minutes. And then just 6 days later, this is something that we talked about with Mike Cermak last week. About and here's the response and the change to the policy, saying that we designed the supercharger network to enable a seamless, enjoyable road trip experience. Therefore, we understand that it can be frustrating to arrive at a station only to discover fully charged Teslas occupying all the spots. So, to create a better experience for all owners, we're introducing a fleet-wide idle fee that aims to increase supercharger availability. And, like we mentioned last week, this comes at the expense of a 40 cents a minute. A 40-cent a minute fee for every minute your car sits at a supercharger after it has completely topped off, saying that the fee is waived if the car is moved within 5 minutes. So after your car is completely topped off, again, you should really be paying attention. After 5 minutes, you are charged 40 cents a minute. And, that doesn't seem like, too much. I mean, heck, that's, I take that back. That's way higher than a parking meter. So, and they're saying that, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what they call customer service. And so, and idea to execution in 6 days, that's exactly what Elon Musk did. And I think we're going to end that particular story there, but it does just goes to show that, you take one complaint, one valid complaint from one Twitter user, out of the I'm sure he has hundreds of advisors, hundreds of people out there who are running, PR for him, who are giving him ideas, and it's just one random guy on Twitter tweets at the CEO of, this multi-billion-dollar company, and gets it taken care of in less than a week, and a solution is found. Again, the solution is not the favorite of everyone. A lot of people are, a little ticked off by it, but at the same time, you can see why he did it and the reasoning behind it, so you can't be too mad at the supposed solution to the problem. Just, again, Elon Musk is, there's a lot of things to like about him, there's a few things to dislike about him, but at the same time, you can't argue with the guy's, customer service. Very, very impressive. Now, with that being said, why don't we move on to... Okay, how about we do this one? And this is about Air TV and cord cutting. It's a I don't even want to call it a phenomenon at this point. It's a trend, and it's a trend that cord cutting is when you have a traditional cable and you stop paying for Dish, Comcast, AT&T, DirecTV, whatever it is you pay for, and you strictly go with internet. And by strictly going with internet, you watch Netflix, you watch HBO, HBO Now, you watch YouTube, you watch whatever it is you want to watch. But essentially, all of your entertainment is now coming through your internet cable instead of your TV cable. And again, this is a pinch that we are seeing broadcast television lose subscribers year over year. And one of the solutions for Dish is to create a system called the Air TV. And from TechHive, this is what to expect from the device and the brand. So, this is by Mr. Jared Newman, and saying that Air TV is cooking up a grand unification of cable channels, broadcast TV, over-the-air DVR, and an on-demand streaming, and it may just have the ingredients to pull it off. Now, this is this is a tall order, because if you can solve this little problem, then you're going to solve the entire cable industry. Not easy, not easy. And again, this was Air TV, and it's made its big debut at CES 2017. So, instead of a network antenna tuner that feeds broadcast channels into a Sling TV app or other devices, Air TV wants to be the complete package. And it's a $100 Android-based box with an optional antenna hookup, letting you stream Sling TV channels free over the air and free over the air broadcast into a unified interface, which also includes recommendations from Netflix. So, the remote control strives for similar harmony with TV power buttons and volume controls, in a dedicated guide and previous channel buttons, voice search from Google, and shortcuts to Netflix and Google Play Movies and TV. So essentially, again, this is pulling channels and content from every conceivable place at once and trying to organize them into, I think, what cable is currently. And it's trying to be this Frankenstein that looks like a supermodel. We've seen it before. We've had a couple on the show, and it's not the easiest thing to pull off. And they're saying that Air TV isn't just a product, but a new subsidiary of Dish Network, which also operates the Sling TV service, saying that its stated purpose is to ease the transition of traditional TV to online video. And of course, we are just starting to see the rise of online video. And they're saying that, and the author is saying that as someone who's lived without cable TV for more than 8 years, he's always relied on an antenna for content that streaming videos lack, including NFL games, award shows, and the occasional primetime broadcast. At the same time, he hesitates to recommend antennas to prospective cord cutters who are less patient with the technology or who have little tolerance for change. And coming from cable, not everyone wants to constantly switch inputs or interface based on what they're watching. It is a rather convoluted system. So, as Air TV solves the problem by offering one interface for free over-the-air channels and Sling TV's streaming cable channels. So, they're saying that live channels get a dedicated row in Sling TV's home screen and appear alongside cable channels in the guide view. You can also flag favorite channels for quick viewing, and they also have an optional USB hookup for an antenna. And they also have a way to aggregate the stream. So let's say you're watching something on Netflix, or if you want to watch something on Google Play or Amazon, all of them are, of course, routed directly into this one device. And they're saying that, they're saying that Air TV is not looking to release a streaming player with an integrated tuner, which would eliminate the need for a USB tuner dongle. An integrated tuner would have lengthened time to market and raise the cost. So, cloud DVR is also unlikely with this thing, which is something that a lot of different devices have actually gone to court over. Not the easiest thing in the world. So, with the current hardware, Air TV will likely have plenty to work on between DVR, more streaming integrations, and the inevitable glitches that come with a version 1.0 product. So, the author says that they're going to get back to it when they have a full-fledged product, but at the same time, if they can get this working, this is the kind of device that would bridge the gap between those who have a cable subscription and those who are getting more and more of their content through the internet. And again, it's one of these little devices that will ease the transition, as they said, from one to the next. So, I think we have time for one more story. And, I think we're going to do. Wow. We have done a lot so far, but I think we're going to do this one. And it's all about. I take that back. We're going to do this one. And this is a game that I've been following for a little while. It's not the most popular game, but at the same time, it was going to be, it was going to be a AAA title. Huge, huge, huge. And it was debuted at E3. And I only have a couple minutes to get this, but it was a game called Scalebound. And Scalebound was this, this great looking RPG from a studio called Platinum Games. Put a lot of effort and energy into it, but Scalebound has been canceled. So if you were looking forward to it, not going to happen. Saying that Platinum's Xbox exclusive has been canceled by Microsoft, killing the dream of a Devil May Cry meets Last Guardian mashup. And they're saying, what a shame, saying that he saw the game behind closed doors in 2 separate occasions and left smitten with the concept. It's centered around a very arrogant, headphone-loving 20-something lost in a world filled with dragons, and throughout the game, you would control them, slashing as a protagonist and throwing out commands to your dragon. But Platinum Game is an expert in the stylish, over-the-top combat, and winning critical acclaim with games like Bayonetta, Vanquish, Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, and Scalebound was something new. A chance to prove that it could blend ridiculous action with an open world setting and RPG mechanics. So, they're saying that Scalebound's cancellation suggests that the game was too ambitious for Platinum, saying that they suggest that the project was stuck in development hell, behind schedule and struggling to run on the team's chosen engine. So, the pressure was so intense that several senior members were forced to take a month off, which only made it more difficult to keep up with deadlines. And in a statement, Microsoft merely said that the decision was made after careful deliberation. So, sadly, and I think we're going to leave it there, but the game Scalebound, if you've been looking forward to it, just not just not in the cards. But of course, this is not the first time we've seen projects scrapped. And then there's always hope. There's always hope that another game rises from the ashes. So we could see just that. Quite possibly. So,
90
I
seconds.
think we're out of time here. And everyone, I want to thank you so much for tuning into Computer America once again. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we have Sandy Berger. She is our consumer electronics correspondent, expert, and of course, I'm sure she has been following everything out at CES with a careful eye. We really do appreciate what Sandy does here for us, and you could find more of her writings over at compukist.com. And of course, tune in tomorrow to hear everything she has to say about what was
60
unveiled
seconds.
out at CES and what really caught her eye, what really caught her attention, and what she's looking forward to, of course, reviewing, and what she has reviewed over the holiday break. Now, for everyone else out there, be sure to tune in for more Computer America this entire week, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, hopefully you had a really good time today. Be sure to check out computeramerica.com for all of the show notes or any of the links or any of the articles that we covered here today. We have links in the show notes just like that to make it very, very easy for you to follow along. And hey, while you're over at Computer America, be sure to sign up for our social media contest. Win some great prizes. So, until tomorrow, everyone,
10 seconds.
have a great day, and see you again tomorrow, bright and early, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye. And everyone out there still watching on the video portion, thank you so much for tuning in to, again, the video portion. It's something that we will continue to develop, and we are, again, still very dedicated to making sure that quite possibly, maybe, the video portion is even better than the radio portion. But hey, it's a work in progress, and we will, of course, keep working on it. So until then, everyone, see you. Goodbye. Have a good one. Later.